Hauntings really take over the reviews of places like this. I mean, how good is the service? Are the rooms clean? I'm your host Youssef, and these are 10 scary places that are scarier than the Stanley Hotel. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, let's put it out there. Number 10, Dr. Best House and Medical Exhibit. Their website says this: as if awaiting the return of Dr. Best from a house call on his horse-drawn carriage, this Victorian home and medical office captures the elegance of the turn of the century. Serving a small-town American community from 1884 to 1991, the Dr. Best collection echoes reminders of a quickly changing era. Civil War, railroad, and telephone artifacts all reflect the character of this family of pioneers and visionaries. The expansive and unique collection includes thousands of bottles, automotive memorabilia, clothing and quilts, to name a few, as well as the fully stocked period kitchen and state-of-the-art medical equipment. Dr. Best House and Medical Museum is also famous for paranormal activities and is part of Schoharie County's Haunted History Trail. Number 9, Eastern State Penitentiary. Eastern State Penitentiary is a former prison in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania that is now a museum. Over the years, visitors and staff have reported experiencing paranormal activity within its walls. Some of the reported experiences at Eastern State Penitentiary include: some visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures moving along the walls and corridors of the prison. Many people have reported hearing unexplained sounds and voices, including footsteps, whispers, and screams. Visitors have also reported sudden drops in temperature in certain areas of the prison, even when it is not particularly cold outside. Some visitors have reported seeing cell doors open and close on their own. Visitors have reported experiencing strange smells that they can't identify, such as the smell of burning, sulfur, or rotting flesh. Number 8, Utica Lunatic Asylum. First known as the New York State Lunatic Asylum at Utica, the original design for the hospital was made up of 4 identical buildings that featured a central courtyard. Unfortunately, after the construction was completed for the first building, funds for the operation were cut and none of the other buildings were built. Sadly, like so many of America's earliest hospitals for the mentally ill, upsetting procedures were practiced on patients. Utica's asylum was said to have staff members that performed lobotomies and electroshock therapies quite regularly on patients. Over the years, stories of horrible living conditions were told, with many claiming that the patients who resided here received hardly any care and were left confined in small quarters. In 1852, the asylum's first floor stairway caught on fire. Number 7, Iron Island Museum. The Iron Island Museum is in a building that was a former church built in 1883. The church closed in the late 1940s and it sat empty until 1956, when it was purchased and turned into a funeral home. In August of 2000, it was donated to the Iron Island Preservation Society of Lovejoy Incorporated for its museum. This building is loaded with history from the Iron Island neighborhood, city of Buffalo, the railroad, the military, and much, much more. Its history is what makes it so haunted. Once you come visit the museum for the spirits, you end up appreciating its amazing history. The building is haunted by many spirits, some we've been able to identify, such as Edgar Zernick, whose cremated remains were unclaimed in the basement, and 2 boys who were both waked out of the funeral home in the 1960s. Number 6, the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary is a retired ocean liner that is now a hotel and museum in Long Beach, California. The ship has a long and storied history, including serving as a troop ship during WW2, and many believe that it is also home to several ghosts and other supernatural phenomena. Here are some unique experiences that people have reported on the Queen Mary. Many people have reported hearing the ghostly singing of a young girl in the first-class pool area of the ship, even when no one else is around. Visitors to the Queen Mary's engine room have reported seeing ghostly apparitions of the crew members who once worked there, including one man who appeared to be covered in oil. Several guests have reported seeing the ghostly apparitions of a man and a woman in 1930s clothing, walking arm in arm down the ship's promenade deck. Many people have reported seeing strange orbs of light floating around the ship as well, especially in the areas where paranormal activity is said to be most prevalent. Number 5, Guernsey Hollow Cemetery. Guernsey Hollow Cemetery has been around for a long time, bearing graves that date back to the 19th century. Visitors have reported seeing a ghostly lady in white, a young boy, spectral orbs, and the apparition of a young girl or the sound of her cries. The girl is alleged to have been mentally handicapped and ended by townsfolk for unknown reasons. Some people believe that the lady in white and young boy roamed the graveyard to protect this girl. A few individuals described their experiences when visiting there. One user stated, "I grew up nearby and visited with some friends around 1996. That's when you could drive right up to the gates. We left the car at the gates and walked to the top and sat on a flat rock. We were there for a while when I saw the lady in white float from where I thought was her grave to the next grave over and disappeared into it. We were so freaked out we all ran to the car and didn't want to run at first. I never did go back. We were so freaked out we all ran to the car that didn't want to run at first. I never did go back. I'm sure there were other things that went on, but being so long ago, that's what sticks out in my memory still." Number 4. The Bell Witch Cave. The Bell Witch Cave is a natural cave located in Adams, Tennessee that is famous for its association with the Bell Witch, a legendary spirit that is said to have haunted the Bell family in the early 19th century. Visitors to the cave and surrounding area have reported a variety of strange experiences. Many visitors to the Bell Witch Cave have reported hearing disembodied voices and whispers in the darkness, even when there was no one else around. Some visitors have reported feeling a strange energy or presence in the cave, as if someone or something is watching them. Some people have reported feeling an unseen force touching them or brushing past them in the cave. Some visitors have reported seeing objects move on their own in the cave, including rocks and other debris. The Bell Witch is said to haunt not just the cave, but also the surrounding area, with some visitors reporting strange occurrences such as unexplained lights and sightings of ghostly apparitions. Number 3. Hyde Hall. In 1817, George Clark began the nearly 2-decade process of building what was then the largest private residence in the US, but he passed away within a year of its completion. However, some believe that even passing hasn't kept Clark from enjoying his dream house. More than 150 years of paranormal experiences have been documented, including apparitions, footsteps, and sheets being pulled off beds. If that's not eerie enough, the property also features a detached family crypt, which you can experience for yourself during candlelit tours of the grounds on Friday and Saturday nights. Number 2. The Lizzy Bordon House in Fall River, Massachusetts. The Lizzy Bordon House in Fall River, Massachusetts is a historic bed and breakfast that was once the site of a gruesome double execution. Andrew and Abby Bordon, Lizzy's father and stepmother, were brutally ended with a hatchet in the house in 1892. Visitors to the Lizzy Bordon house have reported a variety of strange and unexplained experiences. Some visitors have reported feeling as though they are being watched by an unseen presence, particularly in the upstairs bedrooms where the executions took place. Several ghostly apparitions have also been recorded at the Lizzy Bordon house, including the apparition of a woman in Victorian clothing and the apparition of a man with a mustache. Number 1. The Sagamore. A grandiose hotel on a private island overlooking Lake George sounds like the perfect place for some rest and relaxation, or eternal rest for some guests. At the gorgeous 19th century Victorian resort, stories of ghost sightings are mainly confined to the elegant restaurants, but the Sagamore's most notorious ghost is more likely to be found playing outdoors. About 70 years ago, a boy who sold lost golf balls back to pro shop customers was hit by a car during his search. If you listen very closely, you can still hear him giggling. Thanks for watching. Those were 10 scary places that are scarier than the Stanley Hotel. Leave a like and comment if you think we missed anything, and we hope you have a scary day.